Good morning, friends. I've been studying mushrooms lately. I've always taught mushrooms at the school, but just showing people a few really easy to identify species that are good to eat and kind of sticking at that. I try to add one new mushroom a year for my own consumption and for the family to eat. But this year I'm just feeling more excited about it and been trying to learn more about the different groupings of fungi and the way that they interact with their environment, and just start finding new species and eating new species. It's been pretty fun. I found some really cool things in the woods. So what that leads me to is kind of a simple thought for today, which is you have this thing that we could call attention. I talked about presence originally, right? We could also say time. You know, how much time and energy that you have that you're going to apply during this day, that you have to spend, essentially. Let me see if the wind's going to be okay here. Okay. And I want you to think of yourself as someone really great, awesome. I want you to think of yourself as your attention, your time, this being something that's very precious. Think about if you give that attention to somebody else. Usually people are so happy to get the attention of someone else because we don't get a lot of that often in our lives. Good, clear attention. Of course, many of us, we strive for attention on things like social media and we think that a like is attention, but I'm talking about actual connection. There's all kinds of ways to think of, let's just call it time. This time that you have before you today. And how you're going to spend it. There are depths into which we can go in our relationship with time. You've probably heard me say before, and I'll stand by it 100%. We can subjectively shift our perception of time. This is a skill we can develop so that if you want to feel like you're living long, if you want to live an entire week in a day, you can learn to subjectively shift your experience of time. However, on the flip side of this is the standard thought that time is broken up into these chunks called hours and minutes, and we only have so much of it. And so if you look at this, let's say 14, 18 waking hours that you're going to have today, how are you going to spend that time? When I think to learning mushrooms, I think we've got a lot of gnats this morning and they're flying into my eye. I think, well, let's say I'm going to get onto the computer. I could spend that time answering emails that people have sent to me. I could spend that time watching some good YouTube videos on mushroom identification. I could also spend that time, let's say, looking at the Hollywood, the gossip thing that we call politics, or watching some junk video about whatever. Is that worthy of my time? Is that worthy of your time? Starting to think, wow, this is this thing that is really precious that I have. And how can I just be conscious about how I spend it? And to do it in a way that honors who you are. Because so much of that stuff that's offered out there in the world, I'm just going to say it, it's not worthy of you. It's not worthy of a minute of your time. But there are things out there that are worthy of your time. These might be people who you love, an animal that you caretake. This might be nature in general. This might be yourself, doing some self-care. Or this might be media, like a YouTube creator that is putting out really good content, helping you to learn something that you're trying to learn right now. In the same way that I'm tending to watch a fair amount of mushroom videos right now. So, today, for me, maybe you want to join me. Whenever I'm going to spend any of my time, whenever I'm going to give any of my attention, to think, is this thing that I'm giving it to, is it worthy of my attention? And I think we'll find that that person on the street that looks a little lonely, very much worthy of our time and attention. Some junk video about somebody that, whatever, you know what they are. Not worthy of your time. Each thing we do today. And if something is worthy of your time and your attention, give it. So if you're cooking and you find that task to be worthy of your time and attention, give yourself to it. Do it well. Do it beautifully. When something is judged to be worthy of your attention, then you start giving it worth, and you give it presence, and you give it that attention. And when you do that, you enrich its beingness in the world, whether that's another person you're talking to or that meal that you're creating. So join me today if you would like. I'd love to have you along, giving this a try, to be conscious of what we spend our time and attention on. All right, my friends, love you, and talk with you in the comments.